I wanted to also ask you about Keefe D, because Keefe's obviously been on record saying that the death of Tupac was ultimately a bounty placed by Pac. I mean by Puff onto Pac. Was there ever a connection between Puff and Keefe D in the Crips?
Well, the connection was zip, but to say that it was a bounty put on him, I don't think Keefe D is the type of dude at that time that you're gonna owe him $1 million and you're not gonna pay him at that time. You understand what I'm saying? And we was around Keefe a whole lot of times after Pac died. You understand? Up at the hotel, shooting dice with him, chilling, and you owe him $1 million. Somebody gonna pay that. So
that's a great point. Go ahead, though. Finish up on that point, though.
So I just believe that was something that was made up, to glamorize that whole situation. Because if Keefe D said that and it had any truth to it, then that was murder for hire. Puff is responsible for that. And it's one thing I know about the law. They not letting nobody get away with that. You understand what I'm saying? It's nobody getting away with that.
That's a great point you bring up, because I wanted to ask you as well. So if Keefe saying,
but people gonna say I'm taking up for Puff, I'm looking up for Puff and all that. But no, I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at the evidence and the shit that goes down and the shit that I know. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think
I'm not taking up for him. I'm not taking up for nobody. I'm just telling what I know, what I seen, and what I heard.
Nah, I mean, I think anybody who's seen any of your lives or anything you've put out in the past, you keeping it a buck. You're not taking up for Puff. You speaking on how you feel and what you know.
Yeah.
That's been evident through everything that you put out in the past. But I asked that question to lead up, and I'm glad you made that point, because in the conversations of leading up to the ultimately the death of Biggie Smalls, and you talked about being in California, speaking to your people back in New York, and getting the word that, yo, these dudes is coming for you guys. Be careful out there, right? You talked about the conversations you had. If Keefe was Puff's man, why didn't Keefe alert you guys to anything he was hearing in the streets out there?
You got to understand that people that's in gangs or people that are in the streets, they may not feel that that's an issue as a problem. You understand? Because they live that life every day of a nigga trying to shoot and kill them. See, Keefe D, you got to understand, he lived that life every day being a Crip. You understand? Being a boss out there. It's niggas that's trying to fly his head all the time. So that may not be an issue or problem. And if you don't know that yourself, then that's the issue. At that time, when you know that Pac is dead, no matter who hands it came by, how many losses do you think the Bloods, the Jeff Death Row, or anybody from California is going to take when one of the top niggas that they love, Jake, is dead? And quote unquote, they put it in the air like Bad Boy did it. Now Pac is dead, quote unquote, they put it in the air like Bad Boy did it. How many losses do you think these guys gonna take when they always trying to take lives anyway? You got to be real with that. So by Keefe D even saying it or whatever like that, you should have known that. If I come to you and say, and by the way, you said back home, no, Unique was in the California jail. He's from New York, you understand? by way of Jamaica. But he was in the federal penitentiary out there in California. He got into it with some California dudes about some street shit. That's how he got in touch with me to give me that information. Chaz, known everywhere, all over the country, been in every damn near federal penitentiary all over the country. Black Hands is everywhere. Chaz told me. Then the dude that was rolling with Jodeci told me.
Right. I was referencing Chaz and RIP to Chaz because in the interview you had done, you talked about speaking to Chaz and he was back home.
Yeah, Chaz from New York, but he was out of California too at that time.
Oh, okay, all right. My apologies. Yeah, I have my information wrong there. I thought he was back home.
No. He came out to California at the same time we was out there. When I was out there, Chaz was out there.
When you were out there, because Lil Cease also said in a recent interview that they had been out there for 2 months. Were you out there the whole time with them?
Hell no. I rolled with, whenever Puff rolled, I was rolling. You know what I'm saying? If he getting on a private plane, I'm getting on a private plane with him. If he getting on a commercial plane, I'm getting on a commercial plane with him. If he going back to New York, I'm going back to New York with him. You understand what I'm saying? So as much as they saw Puff, they saw me. And for that whole week, I told you, it was a whole week that we didn't see Lil Cease at all. He was put on punishment for what he did. You know, the nigga was on punishment. Tell your ass in the room. Don't come out.